The heyday, so to speak, of serial murder was in the 70s and 80s. We had far more serial killers back then than we do now. And evidence of that is the fact that when we see documentaries and movies about serial killers, they focus on Bundy and Gacy and the legacy killers of the past. There's really no high profile.
Okay, John, go ahead. What I tell you is what I know is fact.
I'm a power person. I enjoy power. Nobody else had the guts to pull off what I pulled off. I outsmarted you again.
Police today found 6 more bodies
under the home of suspected killer John Gacy.
Well, you can be walking down the street, and if Gacy lay eyes on you, you have now become his next victim.
I know society will never be able to forgive me. I know the families of the victims will never be able to forgive me for what I have done. Your Honor, it is over now.
Welcome, all you true crime lovers. Sit back, grab that blanket and hot beverage, and prepare for another Saturday night of The Murder Show. Whose mind and story will we dive into tonight? Now for your host, Tim, and alongside him, his co-host, Criminology, Chris, and Classroom Jackie.
Hey, what's going on, all you wild fucking folks out there? Well, hopefully nobody's fucking right now, but if you are, more power to you. Get it. Create another kid.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, man. Welcome. This is it. This is the season finale here for the year 2025 for The Murder Show. I can't believe this is going to be episode number 12.
Hey, look at us edging out.
Yeah, this is wild.
It goes quick, doesn't it?
Oh my God, it has gone so quick. I am your host, Tim, here on the Murder Show, and alongside of me is this sexy, long bearded.
Oh, jeez.
Mother.
I grew this out in the
trucker.
last week.
What's
It only
that?
took me a week to grow.
Yeah, it only took him a week. I mean, this is insane. He's looking damn fine. I tell you what, ladies, he's off limits.
Dapper Dan.
My co-host, Criminology, Chris.
Good evening, everybody.
And alongside him is the leader, or not leader, wow, now I sound like I'm getting a Manson cult going. The director of all of our social media platforms. She does love her brain, and when she's drinking and having a good time, she'll make chili. Classroom Jackie.
Hey, guys. And I decorate Christmas trees.
And she decorates Christmas trees.
Yeah.
So what more could you ask for? Let's see here. I have to bring up my my notes, because that's what happens when you get old. You forget shit.
Well, actually, we have a really cool fact that we learned that Criminology Chris could start us out with about serial killers.
All right.
Well, just a little blurb, but it's relevant and applicable, I guess, in Mr. Ridgway's case that we'll be discussing today. And this comes from a book entitled Serial Killers, Jack the Ripper to the Zodiac Killer. Cool little book. But anyway, as it goes, John M. McDonald, an eminent psychiatrist of the early 1960s, outlined 3 traits in children and adolescents that he saw as predictors to violent behavior in adulthood: wetting the bed after the age of 12, starting fires, and torturing small animals. These 3 predictors are known as the McDonald Triad, or sometimes the Triad of Sociopathy, or the Homicidal Triad. McDonald's theorized that a young person who exhibited 2 of the 3 traits was at a heightened risk of engaging later on in predatory behavior, possibly including serial murder. So I think we found that to be true. I think, there's been a handful of people, I think, that we've already discussed where, we've seen that either there's been animals that have been tortured or messed with, or they've been, the wetting the bed thing. I think that's been a commonly occurring thing too. So
Who else was the wedding the bed one? There was another one. Was it BTK? There was another one.
was it Dean? Maybe I don't.
I think
know.
it might have been Dean.
I
It was
can't.
Dean.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
Dean.
Yeah. Okay.
And also, Ridgway actually has a tie with Gein when it comes to like what caused them and drove some of these things.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I
Yeah.
remember them talking about it. Well, cool. Real quick, because I forgot to do it at the show last week, and that's my fault. Don't forget, follow us Facebook, TikTok at Murder Show, and our YouTube channel here. If you don't already subscribe to it, please go ahead. You just click that little subscribe button, and that will notify you when we go live every time. We are normally live every Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Except for this will be the last show for 2025 tonight. So after tonight, you'll have to just stick to listening to old shows until next year. We'd like to thank our sponsor, Crafty Corner by Laura, all handmade crochet items, jewelry, plushies, and more. You can check them out on Instagram at Crafty Corner by Laura and on Etsy. You can also email them at thecraftycornercrochet@gmail.com. So she's made a couple things for us here in the studio, and she does really, really good work. So I recommend getting a hold of her because she does some awesome work.
Yeah, those possums are really soft and cute.
Oh yeah, the dead one hanging back here on my pretend girlfriend. Yeah, that's yeah. Anyways, so tonight we are covering let's see, Gary Ridgway, also known as the Green River Killer. This was Chris's pick to end out the year, so I'm excited. This guy is holy shit, I mean,
And he's messed up.
yeah, there's a lot going on there. So I guess Classroom Jackie, if you want to start, and we'll dive in here and sit back and relax.
Another really interesting fact before I start diving into it, just like BTK, Gary Ridgway was able to get away with so much without getting caught, just because of who he was and pretty much how he was able to manipulate himself out of them.
Well, he was just hiding in plain sight. And I think in addition to that, I think the fact that the people that he preyed on were, once again, as we've covered a few people, we talked about the Texas killing fields and some other things. And I think that when you target, and he knew what he was doing, when you go out and you target people that are not highly traceable, expected home every night. In this case, women that are a part of the, prostitution trade and that kind of thing. Yeah, you're going to be a hell of a lot less traceable than, no one's going to be gunning to hunt you down because no one's going to be wondering where these people are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True. He kind of had that kind of the life that what was it? Gacy had. Gacy was a really well-respected person, and nobody thought anything of it with him.
Yeah, I think even down the road, they talked to him at the end of all this, and he basically said, he's like, well, I couldn't have killed my wife. I couldn't have killed, so and so. They're too close to me. I would have got caught.
Yeah. Yeah.
He knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
So why not kill prostitutes, right?
Right.
Right. Gary Ridgway was born February 18th, 1949 in Salt Lake City, Utah. He was the second of 3 children to his parents, Thomas and Mary Ridgway. His childhood was troubled pretty much. Relatives later said that his mother was a very domineering woman who believed in corporal punishment inflicting them upon her sons for minor offenses. Ridgway himself would later tell psychologists that as an adolescent, he had conflicting feelings of anger and sexual attraction towards her. Gary actually urinated in his bed and had accidents all the way up until he was 16 years old. and his mother would bathe him. So she, all the way through puberty, she would give him baths
Oh
and
my gosh.
clean him and wash him, everything. He said that at those times, sometimes her robe would flash open and he would get aroused. And he would start having fantasies about her and then have fantasies about killing her as well.
All right then.
Yeah, it's a little far to go. I mean, when your
Yeah.
mom, I think you maybe should back off the bathing. Like, oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like at least after 10. I mean, for
Yeah.
maybe like a wash your back, like that.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah,
It's,
it's,
wow. It's a little far-fetched, a little far out there.
I think it'll screw up anybody. I think.
I guess I'm not concerned that I'm still wet in the bed, but that's fine. Anyway, sorry. This
You
came
might
in,
want to get
folks.
that checked out.
Nah, I'll be all right.
Now, on the other hand, his father, Thomas, was a bus driver. And when he would come home most nights, he would complain to his wife and family about sex workers that were along his routes. So here comes starting to bring up the sex workers. Ridgway is dyslexic, and he was actually held back a year in high school with an exhibited IQ recorded as low 80s. When he was 16, he lured a 6-year-old boy into a wooded area and stabbed him through the ribs into his liver. The boy survived the attack, but because he didn't know Ridgway, he was able to get away with it. When he was arrested, he later admitted that to police and said the only reason he did it was to feel what it was like to stab someone.
Yeah, which is weird too, because I mean, even down the road, like he wasn't stabbing these people. You know, I mean,
No.
that wasn't his modus operandi.
And he was 10 years older than this boy.
Right.
Yeah, and this was a boy. I do apologize. This was a boy, and he killed all women. So
Right. It was just kind of like, hey, let's see how this works, you know. But in lieu of murdering or torturing animals, which I don't know that he did or didn't, I didn't see any information regarding that sort of thing. But, you know, he was already messing with human beings.
Yeah.
So right off the rip, I mean, it shows like a lack of compassion, you know,
Yeah.
and attachment and empathy.
yeah.
You know.
He did look at, later down the road, he did look at his victims as not human, not even women. He did not care about them.
Yeah, I remember them saying that he just didn't like, hookers or whatever, and why not get rid of them?
Excuse me.
Hey, what's up, Bird? Been a long time, buddy. Thanks for being here.
Now, when he was questioned about Ridgway after his arrest, friends and family described him as friendly but strange. He graduated from high school in 1969 and married his high school sweetheart, Claudia Craig. He then joined the Navy and was deployed to Vietnam, where he served aboard a supply ship and saw some combat. During this time, he had frequent sexual intercourse with sex workers and contracted gonorrhea.
Ugh.
Yeah, I went over and hooked up with the Nam chicks and
Yeah.
came back or ended up with something funny.
Gonorrhea.
I mean, I'm sure that was pretty common. You know, I mean, a lot of,
Oh,
you know, I understand a lot of guys were doing that sort of thing over there, but obviously, I believe when his wife figured that out, they weren't together too long after that.
No, so she actually, according to a documentary we were watching, she wrote him a Dear John letter and left him.
So, while
Yeah.
he was still there,
Mm-hmm.
I got you.
And Dear John,
while
because
he
she
was
started,
there.
she started seeing someone 1 year after they were married, and he had deployed.
Talk about trying not to mess with your mental state of mind when you're over there in this war,
Yeah.
and then she goes and sends that. That's got to fuck with your brain, man.
Yeah, hey, you have no one to come back to.
Yeah, but let's talk about the best decision you ever made, right?
Yeah, right.
to turn it and to walk away from that situation. That was a wise thing.
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
smart
yes,
on
you
her
did.
part for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
His first two marriages resulted in divorce because of infidelities by both partners. His second wife, Marcia, claimed that he had placed her in a chokehold one night. What she described was he had her like this and threw her over a dresser. It was either the dresser or bed so he could have his way with her, but squeezed too tight that she passed out.
Oh God.
So he was already having these urges of strangulating and choking and
What's this going to be? You know, what's this like if I tried it? Yeah.
right. It's already building.
Ah, give it a whack with your wife. There you go. Yeah, what a great guy. Yeah,
Give it a little wacky.
yeah.
Ridgway did become religious during his second marriage. He would go door to door reading the Bible aloud and at work and at home as well. He insisted that his wife follow the strict teachings of their pastor and would also frequently cry after reading the Bible or hearing women.
That's different.
Hearing women?
Yeah.
What do you mean by that?
If he would or hearing sermons that had women in them.
Wow.
Despite his beliefs, Ridgway continued to solicit the services of sex workers and asked his wife to participate in sex in public places or inappropriate places.
Well, yeah, they ended up going down a road where he started trying to get her to get into more and more perverse and exhibitionist kind of things and that kind of stuff. And she wasn't a big fan. Yeah, so that didn't end up turning out too well. She wasn't into the, going and doing it at the park, I guess.
Yeah, right.
But she was the one, she had a son. He had a son with her,
yeah.
right?
Matthew, who was born in 1975. And he had no clue that any of this was going on when he was growing up. He didn't know until much later.
Right. Yeah, I mean, there was a situation where he actually had him in the car.
And he went and,
Yes,
so
yes,
one
yes.
of the victims he picked up, he had his son with him. And they went into the wooded area, which he also had taken his wife to, which is where he found 10 of the victims were found. He went and hooked up with her, killed her, and then when his son asked where the pretty lady went, he said she was walking home.
That's right. And I remember them saying, well, if your son would have seen it, would you have killed him too? And he just kind of, pondered.
He went, probably
And
not.
he's like, well, probably, maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
And it's like,
wasn't sure.
What?
I mean, you should have been immediately adamant about the fact that you would never do something like that. I mean, any normal person.
yeah, right?
Right.
You shouldn't have to think twice about that.
According to women in his life, Ridgway had an insatiable sexual appetite, and even his 3 ex-wives and few girlfriends reported that he demanded sex from them several times a day. Often he would want to have it in public places or in the woods.
Oh.
It's a libido on that guy. I mean, holy jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. He went there.
I mean, honestly, like that's absurd. Several times a day. Like, I mean, it would.
Yeah, that ain't happening for me.
Oh, damn thing will fall off.
Yeah.
Man.
You get one side of me and let's go smoke and
nap time.
Sit down and take a nap. Maybe we'll try again in a few hours, but
yeah, still ain't looking good. Yeah.
He did have a love-hate relationship with sex workers, with whom he had frequently complained about their presence in his neighborhood, but he would take advantage of their services regularly. In a statement read at a plea hearing, Ridgway said he hated prostitutes and did not want to pay them for sex. Some have speculated that he was torn between his lust and his staunch religious beliefs, which his second wife, Marcia Ridgway, confirmed.
Yeah, he'd talk shit about prostitutes and then that
He's using
evening,
them.
right? Yeah, he could buy one, right?
Yeah.
Right. He did end up divorcing her in 1981, and in 1988 met Judith Lynch.
Now, real quick, the wife we were just talking about, wasn't that the one where they said that he had brought in lingerie in a container and said, "Oh, is this yours? Did you?" And she's
It was
like,
it was after they divorced, and she's like, "Those are a much smaller size."
yeah, and then he's like, "Well, okay," and just left him there and walked out of the room, kind of as if to say, "I'm screwing around with another woman" or
It
something.
was like 3 months after they divorced that he did that, because it was in an interview that she did.
Yeah, obviously, like stretch to say, "Hey, look what I can do. Look what I'm doing."
Yeah, yeah.
Which,
Wow.
I don't know why you.
Now, Gary unfortunately has over 49 confirmed victims, so we're not going to cover all of them. There's also a possibility that there is a higher count than that of 71 to 90.
Yeah, that.
Yeah, I think he had even confessed to more than he was charged
Mhm.
with.
Well, just
So-
recently, there were 3 unidentified bodies found in that same area. Decomposition obviously completely gone, just bones.
Yeah, but at least now, I mean, at least to a degree, you can kind of.
They stated that one of the ages of the unidentified one is a 12-year-old. Yeah.
Jeez.
What were they able to? You said they're unidentified. They were not able to.
They were able
any-
to date around the time, like the age that they would be and the year. But
Okay.
unfortunately, there was no dental records yet, or at least none have been found,
Oh,
or
Yeah.
a way to identify them.
Yeah.
so there's nothing to cross it with.
Right. Just
Yeah.
the dating of the bones, pretty much.
Yeah, unless they had documented. Well, yeah, I mean, there would be no DNA, anything
Right.
from
Yeah.
that time. So that's tough.
I don't know if a 12-year-old would be really him though. You know.
They said she could be as young as 12 up to 18.
Uh,
So,
well, you won't ever know, I guess.
unfortunately, not.
Sorry. Go ahead.
There's also a couple of confirmed victims and 2 suspected ones found in Portland, Oregon. The bodies were often left in clusters, sometimes posed usually nude, and he would sometimes return to the victims' bodies and engage in necrophilia with them.
Yeah.
Gross.
Like what was it? Kemper
Mhm.
Right.
and Dahmer and a bunch of them, but
Yeah, even in that show we were watching last night too, they talked about they were actually chatting with Bundy to try to see if they could get him to assist, or he was wanting to assist figuring out who this guy was, and he was saying things along the lines of that this guy more than likely was returning to his victims.
And he
in order
was.
to- right.
He would also
Yeah.
yeah, he did say that.
he also would take evidence and contaminate the crime scene as throwing it off that it wasn't him. He would do cigarette butts, gum, papers, all sorts of other stuff, and just throw it about the scene.
Hmm.
Right.
Yeah, that's right. He said, he goes, oh yeah, maybe only like 11 or 12 times I went back or something like that, or 11 or 12 of them, I remember. Yeah.
So he went back too. Right.
We're going to get into just a couple of them. So the first known victims is in between 1982 and 1984. The first victim that was found is going to be on July 8th, 1982. That was Wendy Lee Cofield. She was only 16 years old. The victim was found, what was it? She was found in the water by 2 boys who were riding their bikes over the bridge.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yep.
They went down there thinking it was a mannequin that was just
Floating.
yeah,
or
just
whatever.
discarded, and
Yeah.
saw the hair and the hand moving and went and got help. When she was retrieved out of the water, there was a pair of jeans tied around her neck for ligature with a unique set of spray paint on them.
Yeah, we will later find out more about that.
That paint was not tested for over 20 years.
That's crazy.
They didn't have as much technology as we have now.
Yeah.
DNA came out
Oh, yeah. What year was that?
1982.
82. Yeah. That was.
That was when DNA and stuff like that started getting.
Well, right, yeah,
Yeah.
in the 80s,
Yeah.
kind of waking up a little bit, but even until the mid 90s, it was still like, you know, it wasn't like today where they could process something and figure out something in a week or a couple days.
Yeah.
Even back then, it took a long time to process that information.
And yes, the contaminations were way before DNA. We just got a message asking. He admitted it to police that he would go and try and throw it off after the first 2 victims were found.
Yeah, it looks like 1984 was when they started DNA testing.
Okay,
Right.
so yeah, a couple years. If it had been tested, it would have been easier to link the murders to Ridgway at the time. Now, 4 more of his victims were found. The King County Sheriff's Office formed the Green River Task Force to investigate the murders. everybody was found either on the riverbank area, in the water, or a little bit further in the woods, all across the Green River. And that's in California, correct? I don't
No.
remember.
River was in Washington.
Washington, yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, it makes sense why a couple
Yeah.
bodies would have been found in Oregon.
No, I think in one shot they mentioned they found like 4 people at one time.
Yeah.
They went down, they saw, I think a couple kids stopped by on bikes and saw somebody down on the bank, and then they ended up going down there and finding multiple
Yeah, that's right.
at once.
Each time that they were going, they were
Right.
finding more than one, yeah.
Now, this task force also included 2 detectives that had been interviewing Ted Bundy, who had offered his opinions on the psychology, motivation, and behavior of the killer. He suggested that the killer was revisiting the sites, like you had said, and having sex with them, which turned out to be true, and if police found a fresh grave, they should stake it out and wait for him to come back. He also contributed to the investigation was FBI Special Agent John E. Douglas, who developed a profile of the suspect. Ridgway was first arrested in 1982 and 2001 on charges related to prostitution. He became a suspect in the Green River killings in 1983 when 18-year-old Marie Malvar disappeared. Her boyfriend and her pimp later found a truck in front of Ridgway's house, which they thought was the same one she had boarded the day she went missing. He was later interviewed in conjunction with the event, and the police received several tips that mentioned him. In 1984, he passed a polygraph test
Yeah.
when he was questioned about these, and the interviewer said he did not do it. Did this was he just that calm?
Well, I mean,
How
they
easy
say
is it to
you can
trick
do
those?
certain things to,
Yeah, and they probably also, once again, I don't know, were they that good back then? I don't know.
yeah. I'm sure it's different now.
Yeah, I think passing something back then and passing something now, I mean, it's 2 different worlds.
In 1985, Ridgway began dating his third wife, Judith Lynch. She became his third wife in 88 and moved into his house just a couple of weeks after starting to date. She said that there was absolutely no carpet. Detectives later told her he had probably wrapped one of the bodies in carpet to transport it. In the same interview, she described how he would leave for work early in the morning some days. For the overtime pay is what he would say. Mawson speculated that he must have committed some of the murders while supposedly working those early shifts. She claimed she had not suspected his crimes before she was contacted by authorities in 1987 after, 15 victims were found?
Yeah, well, by the mid-80s?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like
Sure.
15 or 20 of them had been found at that point.
You know, what was wild too is you talking about Judith. Yeah, because then they ended up spending 13 and a half years together or something like that. And to not have a clue, I mean, any of these women, I mean, obviously Marcia got a better idea of kind of who this guy was and went running,
Yeah.
you know. And Claudia, fortunately, she kind of avoided it. But with Judith, I mean, yeah, ended up being with him for over a decade.
And even Marcia was
Yeah.
when some of the murders were going on.
Oh, yeah, she was during it, yeah.
Now, it is an interesting fact that why he was married and dating Judith, that he said he actually loved her and claimed that it was because of her that his kill count had gone down and the rate as well. Of his 49 victims, only 3 were killed after he was married to Judith. She later said in an interview, "I feel I have saved lives by being his wife and making him happy."
Well, they were saying, was it her friend that asked her after all that, did he ever show you a different side of him? Did he ever lay a hand on you, yell at you?
Right.
And she was like, no, he never did any of that.
So he must have really loved and cared about her. Obviously
Yeah.
not enough not to go kill people,
Well, true.
But maybe with Claudia and Marcia, well, Claudia didn't even get into any of those. But with Marcia, he was choking her and trying to get her to be an exhibitionist.
Yeah.
But he never did that with Judith.
Yeah, he didn't.
So give me 1 second, real fast.
Oh, you're fine. You're fine. Yeah, there's a lot of, I don't know, just the stuff this guy would do. And I know we're gonna cover, I think, the one that he had a relationship with too, which is just, I don't know. This guy's just seeing him when we watched that thing last night and how he was talking with police and stuff, and he's just so calm when he's sitting there, you know, and he's like,
Yeah.
well. And then when they were driving, when he was driving around to show him where, he's like, yeah, right up over here, past the trees to the right, you know, just like.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, there's one by the guardrail over here, and then there's a dirt road. I can't remember, somewhere around here, but yeah, a dirt road. There's another one back there.
Yeah, it's like, God, man.
Just.
Yeah, he no conscience, no guilt,
No.
you know, whatsoever. I mean, he just, and he even stated that he had one as a kid, a conscience, but he goes, I forget by what age, he's just like, nah, just kind of tucked it away or whatever, you know, and it's like, oh, okay, that might be a problem, but you know.
Yeah, it kind of seems to me like that's more something that you have or you don't. It's not really something I think you just, yeah, I was born with it, but it just kind of fell off.
Yeah, I locked it behind a vault door after a certain age, you know.
Yeah, like, I mean, something pretty catastrophic could happen to you to make you maybe, you know, alter your perspective and your feelings towards others or lose that empathy towards human beings. But I'm sure there's something, but still, I think from a young age, like, he was headed this direction.
Yeah.
Now, I cannot remember the victim's name that it was that he was in a relationship with, but he had strangled her and redressed her with her clothes backwards, a bag over her head.
The garbage one, man.
Yeah, he had done, this is crazy. I'll have to try to get her name. She was running late for work and told him to hurry up and finish when they were having sex. Well, he got mad, and that's why he killed her. He said because she went
to work or something like that.
Yeah, she was running late.
She was the only victim that had a job, and it wasn't a sex worker.
Right.
Yeah, he said he was mad that she wasn't making the time for him.
Right.
Do you know how he was able to get the victims into a position where he could strangle them?
No, but I can only imagine.
He told them that if they did it in doggy, he would finish faster. And then in the middle of it, he would go, what's that? And point. And when the victim sat up to look, he would grab and choke them. He never looked them in the face when he did it. It was always from behind.
Well, I mean, so yeah, that's definitely messed up. But finishing quicker in doggy, I mean, I'm not gonna fight with him on that one. But but I don't choke him out or nothing, you know. But sorry. Anyways, hey, there's no such thing as TMI on the show, so
yeah,
I don't care.
Yeah, if you get offended by little things, you might be listening to the wrong stuff.
Yeah, look at the name of the show. If you get easily offended, you're definitely at the wrong show here.
But that girl that you were referring to, like you had mentioned, like he said something about it, put a bag over her head or something, and then he littered her body or posed her and covered her with garbage from his fridge.
Right. So he dressed her backwards. Pants, shirts, everything. Her feet were facing weird. He had fish on her, some trash, just garbage, and then a paper bag over her head.
Yeah, there was like a roll of sausage or something.
Mm-hmm. And they said that this was this was one of the victims he actually had a relationship with, a very brief one.
Yeah.
Somehow it made him feel better about discarding her body because he was pissed at her for not making time for him.
Yeah.
In April of 1987, police took hair and saliva samples from Ridgway. The samples collected were later subjected to DNA profiling, providing the evidence for his arrest warrant. On November 30th, 2001, he was at the Kenworth Truck Factory where he worked as a spray painter when police arrived to arrest him. The 4 original victims that were found were Marcia Chapman, Opal Mills, Cynthia Hines, and Carol Ann Chasteen. 3 more victims, Wendy Cofield, Deborah Bonner, and Deborah Estes, were added to the indictment after forensic scientists identified microscopic spray paint spheres as the specific brand and composition of paint used at the Kenworth factory during the time when the victims were killed. So he originally got arrested on 4 murders, and then the other 3 were added, and then he admitted that he committed more.
Yeah, because that was when he tried to say that, well, you don't have proof it was me, you know, DNA, big deal.
Mm-hmm.
They're prostitutes, you know, of course you're going to find that.
Right.
And then they came back with the paint thing, yeah.
It's a lot. But now we're going to jump into his plea bargain, the confession, his sentencing, and that forgiveness. The only time he cried.
Yeah, he seemed kind of stutter a little bit. I mean, in that interview that he had done with that police officer when he was speaking in regards to that woman that he had a relationship with, that he ended up throwing garbage on. I mean, he kind of seemed like that bothered him to talk about that. But other than that, I mean, when he sat in the courtroom at the end of the day, you know, he sat there and he looked at these victims' families as they spoke in court and just looked at them like he was confused. Why are these people upset? Why are they remorseful? Why are they bothered by, you know, what has happened here?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Oops. Sorry.
Oh, you're all good.
Actually, David, hi, garbage man, just asked, he said, so the victims had paint from the factory on them. And yes, it was little like DNA spheres, just little particles of that specific paint. So it obviously had to be on his hands, his clothes, something like that.
Yeah.
Right.
Do you think he did a lot of these after he got off of work?
Could have been. I mean, depending on what time he got off, yeah, could have been. Maybe he thought, why not just do a lot of that while I'm in the work clothes, the dirty work clothes, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, but yeah, could have been. If he's getting paint and stuff, I think he would have to be in his work clothes.
Oh yeah, I don't think he wasn't abundantly careful about it.
No.
You know, I don't think he was really all that incredibly concerned about getting caught.
Because he'd been getting away with it for so long.
Well, yeah. I mean, it was the same thing with like Bundy, you know. I mean, you travel across the U.S. and you just stop and you do that to somebody every once in a while in a different state. And typically, nobody's catching up to you too quick. The reason why a lot of these people get away with stuff for so long is because they're killing people they don't know. You know? So there's no real motive, and I guess that's why it makes these guys unique.
Right.
You know, as being these serial killers. Like, why with you know, 50 of them? Good grief.
Just 2 years ago, one of his victims was actually identified. Finally, the body had been found in 1985, and were known as Bones 17. They were identified as belonging to a 15-year-old named Lori Ann Radsponsky, who was last seen by her family in Washington on November of 1982.
Jeez.
Yeah. Some of the victims were actually found as skulls or remains. A hiker in 2005 found a skull in a wooded area near Highway 18. And it was later linked. And it was one of the victims that Ridgway had admitted that he buried over there, but he couldn't remember who it was or where.
Mm-hmm. That's just crazy to get away for all that, all that time, man.
Mm-hmm.
That guy had to feel like he was, I don't know, on top of the world at that point. You know, like you said, he wasn't too concerned about being caught.
I wasn't worried about it. I mean, it's the same thing like BTK. You know, it just you go on for 20 some odd years and just carry on. You're like, man,
It's wild.
I did it right. I can't be caught. I don't think that he didn't seem egotistical, really, though. You know, like kind of like Dennis Rader was. He seemed much more egotistical, and that he was doing everything right, and everybody was dumber than he was. This guy wasn't like that. I don't think he didn't really show as being, you know, I'm clever, I'm leaving you clues, but you can't catch me, I'm better than you, you know, kind of personality. He just wanted to do what he wanted to do, and he just certainly wasn't getting caught for it.
He felt like he was, when he was killing him, he had stated too that he was taking the prostitutes off the streets when he was killing them, you know.
No, what a nice guy.
Yeah. I'm cleaning up the streets.
He actually used pictures of his son occasionally to lure women into his car.
Yeah, that's right.
Kind of like BTK was doing.
It's like, come on.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Do you think, and this is, I'm just sitting here thinking about it, that he felt like he could get away with all of this because he got away with stabbing that 6-year-old?
Oh, I don't know. There's an element of that, maybe. I don't.
Could be.
Because I mean, he didn't really kill anybody or do anything again, at least from the information that we gathered, until he was. When was the first?
1982 was the first victim was found.
82. So I mean, he would have been 33.
Yeah,
he
something
would have
like
been
that.
twice his age. It would have been another 17 years after that happened.
Yeah.
And that little boy survived, right?
He did.
Yeah.
He did.
Yeah.
He had a puncture to his liver, but ended up going to the hospital and survived. That family did end up moving out of that state, out of Washington, and moved to a different state after that.
Yeah.
Now, in November 1st, he was arrested of 2001. In August of 2003, Seattle Television News reported that Ridgway had been moved to a maximum security cell at King County into a new one at Air Ray Heights minimum medium security level tank. Other news stated that he had been led by attorney Anthony Savage for closing a plea bargain that would spare him the death penalty in return for his confessions. Do you know originally in one of his taped interviews, he said he killed 65 victims?
That's wild. That's one of the higher ones that we've covered so far.
They couldn't have found everybody. There's no way.
There's no way.
Well, like we said, they took him in a truck on a lot, on a ride, and he pointed out where he would bury him, but he couldn't remember exactly who it was and exactly what part it was, but along the area he would.
Yeah, but he's not going to take them for all 65 people, you know.
They were able to get away with 48 charges for him on this, for the confirmed victim amounts.
Gosh.
He was charged. He entered a plea on November 5th, 2003, of guilty to 48 charges of aggravated first-degree murder as part of that plea bargain that spared him execution. In exchange for his how do you say that?
Corroboration.
Corroboration. I'm not talking that word. I've always struggled with that one.
That's okay. We're not here to judge.
In locating the remains of the victims and providing other details. In his statement accompanying his guilty plea, Ridgway explained that he had killed all of his victims in King County, Washington, and had transported and dumped them of the remains of the 2 women near Portland to confuse the police. There was actually a task force set up to find
figure this out, right?
Yeah, and in the 85, it disbanded because the Clintons had stopped. Then there was a new, there was a new mayor, or was it a sheriff?
I'm trying to remember. I thought it was mayor, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, whoever, I can't remember exactly who it was, came in and said that his top priority is to solve this case because there are more victims.
Yeah. It was a guy that came in with the things and stuff pretty much.
Things and stuff.
He's like, we're going to do this and we're going to do it right. Deputy Prosecutor Jeffrey Baird noted in court that the deal contained the names of 41 of the victims who would not be the subject of State versus Ridgway if it were not for the plea agreement. He explained his decision in a statement saying, "We would have gone forward with 7 counts, but that is all we could have ever hoped to solve. At the end of the trial, whatever the outcome, there would have been lingering doubts about the rest of these crimes. This agreement was the avenue to the truth, and in the end, the search for the truth is still why we have a criminal justice system. Gary Ridgway does not deserve our mercy. He does not deserve to live. The mercy provided by today's resolution is directed not at Ridgway, but toward the families who have suffered so much." On December 13th, King County Superior Court Judge Richard A. Jones sentenced Ridgway to 48 life sentences without the possibility of parole, to be served consecutively. He was also sentenced to an additional 10 years for tampering with evidence for each of those victims, adding 480 years to his 48 life sentences.
Goodbye. Yeah.
Later, he was given an additional life in prison for a 49th victim that was identified.
Was his plea guilty?
Yep.
So he pled guilty.
He pled guilty.
At first, he
Just to save his bacon from dying. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Ridgway led prosecutors to 3 bodies in 2003. In August of that year, the remains of a 16-year-old were found 40 feet from State Route 410 that were pronounced as belonging to Pammy Annette Event, who had been believed a victim. The remains of Mary Mulver and April Buttram, who were actually friends, were found September 2003. One of the ones that was found at the same time, 2 of them were friends, the other one was not. And it was actually a mother that he picked up and killed.
Damn.
Yeah.
This guy's a trip, man. Fucking trip.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it gets deeper. I mean, once again, this is another one of those cases where if we went over every single one of these
Oh
people,
my God, we turned this into a whole season by itself.
Yeah.
On February 9th, 2004, prosecutors began to release the videotape recordings of Ridgway's confessions. In one interview, he again later said that there were 65 women that he killed. And another, in December of 2003, Ridgway claimed to have actually killed 71 victims and confessed to having had sex with them before killing them, a detail which he did not reveal until after his sentencing.
Lovely.
Mm-hmm.
Nice guy.
In his confession, he acknowledged that he targeted prostitutes because they were easy to pick up and that he hated most of them. He confessed that he had sex with the bodies after he murdered them, but claimed he began burying the later victims so he could not resist the urge to commit necrophilia. So he 100% was, I'm going to keep doing this.
He said he was burying them to
Mhm.
save himself from himself.
Yeah, from doing necrophilia.
Yeah.
Being necrophilia.
I gotta make more work for myself so I won't dig them up and try to fuck them again.
Yeah, that's
What the hell?
deranged.
Now, during his trial, some of the family members felt like it was all on them, all on Ridgway, and nothing about the victims. So there's a few different trials out there and videos where you see the family yelling at him or bringing up attention of the missing victim.
Yeah.
Throughout this whole thing, he does not show a single ounce of humanity, care, feelings, compassion,
Yeah.
nothing, no remorse. The only time he has any kind of feelings or care is when one of the victim's fathers forgave him.
From our information.
Mhm.
It's a good. Not only we watched the entire trial, but it occurred to us, and we found it kind of interesting and profound, like that this guy just showed absolutely zero care in the world, no remorse, no sadness, no nothing, until this guy got up and basically told him that, hey,
I've got the clip too.
Yeah.
I'll play that clip. So this is the guy that we're talking about here in the trial that actually said that he forgives him and stuff. And Ridgway broke down during it. So audio clip, I'll play it for you right now.
Mr. Ridgway, There are people here that hate you. I'm not one of them. You've made it difficult to live up to what I believe, and that is what God says to do, and that's to forgive. You are forgiven, sir.
So yeah, that was just a short clip of it there, and that guy forgiving him, and I mean, that's that's wild, you know. That guy, I mean, he's, I guess, being a bigger person, he feels differently about it, and so
The entire world could learn something from that. I think honestly, like, I think though it could be a better place if we all had the capacity to have as much control as that man. I don't think I would not personally be able to digest that, and to be able to, with faith, religion, or otherwise, it doesn't matter. Anything in the world could put me in a position where I would be able to bring myself to forgive that man.
oh yeah, I'm the same way, you know. That's tough there, man, especially if it's a kid of mine or loved one or whatever.
Sister, obviously not brother.
It doesn't matter. Yeah, it just, yeah.
But
I mean, I don't know how that guy, I guess, kudos to that guy. He did it, but me personally, I don't think I could.
No, absolutely not.
No.
It,
It'd take everything in me not to want to jump over the thing and, strangle the guy. Of course, he might get off on that, but
I don't know. Like, he said he got gratification when he did it to his victims, but what if he had
they
his
reversed
wife?
the roles?
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm
He might
curious
not
about.
like it.
I don't
you
think
know?
there was any information that we came across where he was doing that to himself,
No.
like some of these other guys.
Yeah, it wasn't
Right,
like
no, I didn't see any of that.
what BTK where he was choking himself while
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
playing with himself and stuff, or Sparky big time. That's right, I went there, folks.
During this case, none of the victims had anything in common originally other than being asphyxiated. They were not, he didn't choose just one stereotype other than the sex workers. But some of them were, like we said, mothers, or they were going to jobs, or just women he picked up.
Yeah.
They were different races as well. So there was no way they really could tie it together until after he confessed.
Mm-hmm.
So it's
Yeah.
And maybe there are ties back to like his mother, what she had done to him. It's very possible that maybe that it was just a power thing.
Yeah.
Where he wanted to have power over them. Maybe he was beaten down, like you said. The mother was into corporal punishment and
right.
that kind of thing, or whatever. I mean,
yeah.
She was beating the crap out of him.
Yeah.
For minor things, minor issues, and that. I mean, maybe this is maybe that was part of the reason why he went in that direction.
Yeah, true. Hey, what's going on, Bud? Thanks for joining us.
Hell of a guy.
Hey.
Hell of a guy.
And that the possibility of there being a 12-year-old as one of the victims isn't unnecessarily not true. So far, one of the youngest victims that's been identified is a 15-year-old. So it is quite possible that could have happened.
Yeah, I guess I didn't know about the 15-year-old. So that's why I because all the girls so was the 12-year-old, they don't know if it was female, male?
No, it isn't female, but they can't identify the exact age that she is. It's either 12 or 18, but they don't have the DNA right there. There's, as far as I saw, there's no dental records yet, and there's no
Because he
breakdown.
mostly killed prostitutes, so I can't see a 12-year-old being a prostitute.
They could have been 13, and it's just in that age range.
Yeah, I'm sure it's happened, but
Yeah, true, but
I agree with you. I mean,
but it was in the same area as a lot of his other victims, right? You stated where they found. Okay, so could have just been somebody trying to copycat too.
Now, there were
You
a
know,
few of those
right.
victims that were unidentified. One of them was a Jane Doe V20 who was discovered in August of 2003. Because the remains were partial, her face could not be reconstructed and her race could not be determined. But she was estimated to have been between that 13 and 24 years of age at that time. She was estimated to have been murdered in 1970 or 93, but she was believed to have been the first decade of Ridgway's murder spree.
Okay.
In January 24, DNA testified and identified another victim as Liles, Liles, but no first name, but last name. And a separate set of remains that were found with that one had been found in Oregon in 85 and identified in 88 from dental records. So those are the most recent ones.
Bird, you do bring a good point too. I mean, half of these guys, a lot of them were,
And he was.
abused as a child, and it's hard for them to move on. So you're definitely right. But we also cover ones too where their childhood was completely normal, and that's not the reasoning. And it's like, wow, this is weird. I had a perfect childhood.
Right.
I can't remember, but there has been quite a few of them that we have done.
Probably got in those conversations about nature nurture.
Yeah.
In later statements, Ridgway actually said that murdering women was his career.
Yes, I remember that, stating that it was his career,
And a quote he said, I would talk to her and get her mind off of the sex, anything she was nervous about, and think, she thinks, oh, this guy is okay, he cares. Wish I didn't. I just want to get her in the vehicle and eventually kill her. If that just shows you what his thought process and how he felt about women, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's a fucked up case. 49 victims with the possibility of more.
Yeah, and I didn't know a whole lot on this guy too, Chris keeps hitting me with these fucking zingers here,
Zingers.
Zingers. Hit me with the zinger.
The last few that we've done have been really good cases.
Yeah.
Really good.
I mean, I knew of him, but I like stuff like this because it gets me to learn more about somewhere I only knew the name, the Green River Killer.
Right.
At this,
Right.
At the time that these murders were going on was when Ted Bundy was also doing some.
Yes, yeah. And that was too, like you were stating before, when Bundy got on the phone when he was in prison, and he's like, yeah, I want you to come out here. I don't want you to ask how I can help you guys. Boy, that's true too.
That's a good point.
That is a good point, Bird. Yeah, she could have been very well. Yeah.
I mean, she was domineering and corporal
Flashing
punishment.
herself when she was bathing him, which I just can't wrap
All
my
the way
head
to
around
puberty?
that. Yeah, through puberty, you're bathing your son because he's still wetting the bed, right? And your robe's coming open, and it is. You have to feel the draft, right? And you're just okay with it, and the kid's getting aroused a little bit, which means it's going to be going up a little bit. And it's like, you don't put two and two together and think about this, like, wow, maybe I should close this. His wiener's going up here, come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
And maybe they did find out. Maybe you don't know, but maybe he got into a situation where he found out that she was stepping out on his father or something, and
could have been, yeah.
Lost respect for her, and
there's a lot of stuff that they don't know or they leave out, and we won't ever know.
What drove that hatred for prostitution?
I wonder if it, like we said, his father was a bus driver and always complained about him.
Yeah.
Always complained.
Absolutely. Telling your story, I know exactly what you're talking about there, Blood. I'm assuming that might be Vamp up there, but yeah, absolutely, we are going to do that. It's on the plan for when we start our second season next year. So, oh no, he was his mommy toy. Yeah, he was. You might have missed that in the very beginning, but Blood, respond there to your comment. Yeah, absolutely, we're going to have you guys on the show there at some point here to where Van can tell her story. Definitely.
Right.
Well, hello there, Vamp, aka Mom.
Hello.
Yeah.
Big love. But it's just such a messed up case. how he was able to get away with it, his comfortability. His son had no idea, but one of his wives did say there was 3 personalities. I'm sorry, it was a coworker. There was the nice Gary, there was the mean Gary,
Mm-hmm.
and then there was the dad Gary.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she said there were days where you just stayed out of that guy's way. You know?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
could tell he'd be in there throwing shit in the locker room or whatever he was doing.
Yeah, it's
And I thought it was crazy how when was it somebody approached her at work or called her and said, "Hey, they caught the green, river
they
killer,"
called her.
and she goes, "What, Gary?" And they're like, "Wait, how'd you know?" And she goes, "Because I've been telling you guys that for a long time now. I just
she was
knew
in
it."
she was in shock at
Right.
first, and then goes, "There's no way," and she's like, "Wait, yeah, that sounds like Gary," and
Yeah.
then explained his personalities, which is
Yeah.
I just can't believe that they could not test the genes and the paint
Yeah.
before then.
Well,
Like as soon as it was available, 2 years after, this would have been over.
yeah, but I don't think they noticed it on the clothing for a little while, though. If I remember correctly, they did not notice that there was a distinct paint
Yeah.
on some of the clothing because it wasn't on them all.
No, because most of the victims are found naked.
Yeah.
So there had to been like paint particles or something that were transferred on the skin. Because think about it, if you're standing up and doggy, it's going to be right here at your hips.
Yeah. Yeah, I just don't think that they realized it until they probably started to look more into the clothing, maybe put it under the scope or what.
Right.
It might have been something hard to catch at first.
Well, yeah, and through the years, the analysis got a lot deeper, right? I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
Back then, they'd be like, oh, no, they got some paint on. Don't know how that happened. That's not a big deal. That's not relevant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So remember we were speaking about that victim that could have possibly been 12?
Mm-hmm.
Actually, right here, it said that she was later identified as to be 14 years old, but they can't officially say it was who it was, as the victim's skeleton indicated she was probably left-handed and at one point in her life had skull fractures to the left temple that later healed. But they didn't give her a full name.
Wow.
So there's still people being identified.
Yeah, and you got to be careful, too. I think,
Oh, yeah.
Like Tim was saying earlier, like he did a lot of bad things, and he did it in a general area that made it pretty obvious that, like, hey, it was this guy. But you got to be careful, too, not to make just the assumption that it was another one of his, right?
Right.
Yeah. Copycats, I mean.
Well, they tried to
you know?
blame some of them on Bundy, but he was like, that was not me. That's not my MO, and I don't do that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. I forgot about that. Yeah.
Because they crossed paths in time during that era.
Yeah.
And he's still alive, right?
Mhm.
73?
76, I believe.
76?
His health is failing, and he is not doing well. So, okay.
That's
Goodbye.
fine.
Karma.
Mm-hmm.
Slowly eating away. That's wow. Mr. Gary Ridgway. This guy's a trip for sure.
Oh, yeah.
So we kind of look at it, and I'm sure his childhood definitely, I think we can agree, had quite a bit to do with this, to a point.
Sure as hell didn't help.
No, it
Right.
sure as hell did not help at all. But the fact that there was that period where he got away with this for, 10 plus years or something?
Mm-hmm.
I think you said like 13 years, got away with this, and the guy thought he was unstoppable, and he's probably thinking that, which could add more excitement to him too, he goes, oh yeah, I'm not going to get caught, I can do this, and boom, let's knock off another hooker and another one. And he thinks he's cleaning up the streets, which it's like, okay, yeah, you're not a fucking street sweeper here, bro,
Right.
No.
but
Yeah, at the end of the day, I think some of those females, I mean, it's not that they didn't have families that loved them
exactly.
or anything like that. Like, they weren't just garbage.
Well, I
Maybe
couldn't.
just-
Excuse me. I couldn't get over the one mom or the one girl said that when she got the call and found out, she told police that, well, honestly, I was kind of waiting for this day to happen with her because she'd been going down a dark road for a while. That's what you say about your daughter? Like, I mean, I get it. You don't agree with what she's doing and stuff, but that shouldn't be the first thing you say is, well, I kind of figured this day was going to come.
Yeah, right.
Now, there is a little interesting tidbit that I just found. This was from the Seattle Times. retrieved on November 11th, 2014, Ridgway acknowledged that in an effort to throw off the task force, he moved one of his victims, her name was Denise, remains and those of Shirley Sherrill to Oregon in the spring of 1984. He had his son with him and took him on a camping trip up there. He had both of the victims in the back of his Plymouth Satellite and had his son's clothes and bicycle on top of him. He would pay for all of his food and gas with cash and be careful not to leave any records linking him to Oregon.
Wow.
Yeah. To throw off the case, he moved two of his victims to Oregon. To be like, yeah, haha, funny, there you go.
Yeah, he thought he was being smart there, but like you said, his IQ wasn't real high. His IQ
In the
was
80s.
Yeah, it was mine's 75, so it's not really. I don't even want to test mine, but
I want to
anyways,
test mine.
yeah, I know that's right. We said we were going to try to find some tests, yeah. Which next year we do have to. You said eventually you want to try to come up with some sort of, what was it, grading scale for these cases.
Oh yeah.
Something different, you know.
That's a little bit better than.
So we'll have to, for next year, season 2 there, we'll have to come back with stuff like that. We'll have some changes, of course, too, next year. But
Yeah, hopefully things slow down and we can actually release the merch.
oh my God, I know life right now is so hectic for everybody. It's that time of the month, and I get it. And no, I don't mean I'm bleeding, because I'm not. It's not that time of the month. But anybody else?
Like,
And the crowd was quiet. Thanks a lot. But I can't even get the sound effect crowd for that one.
Oh.
But no, I think there's just, I mean, this is like one of the first where, well, I don't know first, but one of the ones where he said that he couldn't kill any family, anybody that he loved, or anybody he was close to.
Right.
I think a lot of the people that we do talk about, it doesn't matter to them. They'll kill whatever.
No,
If they get in the way.
And I think you probably would have too, but I don't think it was just that he had a abundance of empathy for people that were close to him.
Yeah.
I think it was more so that he knew that there was a much better chance of him getting caught if he did.
Yeah, that's true. You did, state that, because I think he would have killed his kid if his kid saw that day.
Unfortunately, I really do.
Just how he, hummed and hawed about it, and he would, I don't think so, maybe, but no.
And we talked about how he said that when he was with his
Right.
son in that one, he asked where the pretty lady went, and he said that she walked home, and that was after he killed her.
Yeah, oh my God, I forget how old his son was then. In the thing we watched
10,
last
11,
night, it was a
something
little,
like that age.
but that's crazy. I mean, this guy there's literally, like Chris was saying, you're not just born with conscious and then you can kind of tuck it away. It doesn't work that way. You either have it or you don't. And I think plain and simple, he said he had one as a kid, but I don't think he did.
Right.
I think he was born without one.
Yeah,
You know.
but also, like you said too, I mean, there's elements of nature and nurture here. Like maybe he didn't have it from the rip, but also, through his childhood with his mother and all those things, and then to go through Vietnam and everything like that.
oh,
like,
yeah,
I
I'm
mean,
sure
that messed
that-
up a lot of people. I mean,
Yeah.
it wasn't just.
PTSD, definitely. Yeah, because you don't know, because he had 3 different personalities. You don't know if he was kind of blacking out mentally when he was doing this stuff too.
Mhm.
You
Right.
know, I mean, he remembers it, but what he, there's, I mean, we could go on for fucking hours about this with
Agreed,
him, but
that's right.
Yeah, and he even said that, or the guy said, when they were interviewing him, that he had a photographic memory and could recall where each one of these people were.
yeah,
And these each individual separate instances. Like, how can you remember 40 some odd or more, specific instances and remember them that well to be able to tell where they were buried? Maybe when they were giving him a ride around and he was trying to show them where they were at. Like, he's like, oh yeah, do you want to do the first one or the one that's closest to us? Or
yeah, that's right.
which one do you want to stop at first? Because, it's kind of out of order, but however you guys want to do it. And
But that, I think, goes to along with what we've talked about before. he liked feeling like he was in control at that time in that situation of which one do you want me to start with? You know, you want to start with the first one? He's kind of running the show a little bit, you know, and he likes that, you know. Plus, it gets him a day out.
Yeah, on Father's Day.
Right.
Yeah.
So it gets him a day out of the cell. So they probably stop for donuts and coffee too, you know.
No.
And
I hope
get some
not.
coffee, and I'll.
Or I hope that they did, and only they got it, and he had to sit there and smell it and not be able to touch it.
Well, I don't know. I mean, some of these people, when they bring them into a room and they talk to them, it's crazy to me to try to get them comfortable. How they get them smokes, something to drink, something to eat,
Yeah,
anything that they
McDonald's.
want. You
Oh,
know,
yeah.
that shit's so wild to me. Man.
It's
It's like,
butter them up a little bit. I
Yeah.
mean, but you gotta do that sometimes, unfortunately, in order. It's a small price to pay in order to get that information.
yeah,
You know.
right. I think that'd be a pretty neat job trying to crack somebody, man.
Oh
You
yeah.
know?
Yeah.
That would be crazy, stressful, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Because some people it takes them.
Yeah, you would not. You would be a special type of person to be able to sleep well in that profession.
Yeah,
I couldn't do it.
Yeah, I could see you doing it with that long, sexy beard.
Oh,
I
yeah.
could see it. You know, just sitting there going, "Where were you last night?" You
Tell
know?
me about this.
Yeah, tell me about this.
How do you feel about that?
You want a cigarette?
It's-
Oh.
Oh my gosh, this case.
So yeah, this one is since we don't really have a rating scale right now, but I'm gonna kind of rate it here. Just this guy, I'm putting him. I mean, it's pretty high up there. I mean, everything that we cover is not low. It's not like this one's not that bad. He only killed 4 people, but they're all bad. But the childhood leading into murders that he did, everything all the way around, and how he was so nonchalant, calm about it. I mean, this whole thing is very, very just sickening, you know? It really is, man. I mean, and the fact that he wanted to know what it felt like to stab a person, so he did it to that 15-year-old boy.
The
is just-
6-year-old boy.
6-year-old.
Or
He was
yeah.
16 when he did it.
Just stuff I just don't. I don't get it.
Hopefully, you're not able to grasp it.
Well,
I think
no.
it's probably better that we don't.
True, true.
You know.
But that's what I'm gonna go with. So I'm not giving it like a certain number or nothing, but I'm just saying this is pretty high up there. So
Yeah, when you open the book and you have like 6 pages of victims, like I mean, it's
Hmm.
you know, it's a lot.
So if you actually had to like put it on a scale of 1 to 10, what number?
oh man, if I had to put on a scale of 1 to 10, covering everything, I would say, God, you had to hit me with this.
Mhm.
Our rating system is flawed.
Yeah, right. I don't know. I'm gonna say probably around an 8. That's just me
Criminology,
personally.
Chris. What do you think?
No, I'll throw him up there at a 10er. I mean, he took the lives of countless people, and
That did not deserve it.
yeah, regardless
No one
of their
deserves it, but-
profession, regardless of the legalities of their profession, regardless,
Yeah.
it's just you know.
What about you?
A 10.
A 10?
100% a 10.
I feel
I-
a lot now.
It's 49 confirmed victims, possibly up to 75. Some
Yeah.
still unknown, some locations still not there.
Yeah, some people talk about 90. I mean, like
Right.
that's a,
Well, so that was actually a murderer named Samuel Little. He confessed to 90 of them, but actually only 60 were able to be positively identified.
Wow. 90?
90.
The
I saw that. I was
hell?
like, holy cow.
Yeah, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well,
I get definitely a 10. Plus, some of the ages of the victims, 14. It doesn't matter who you are and what they're doing and what's going on in their life. You don't kill.
no one deserves to be killed.
Mm-mm.
Like you said, it doesn't matter. Even the worst of the worst people in the world that have done shit, if they're going to be killed, it needs to be done in the justice system.
Oh yeah, it's gotta be like
plain and simple.
lethal injection, or some states are trying to bring back the firing squad.
Some states already have it.
Yeah, some states do
Like
already.
if somebody was just actually.
How is that
Yeah, they
not
want
a
to
deterrent
put-
to?
They want to put, I'm not going to get into the name and all that because it's political. I'm not getting into that, but yeah, they want to put him in front of the firing squad.
Yeah.
You already know who. So, well, guys, it's been an awesome year. I mean, we haven't been doing the show for a full year yet, but I think it started in. I think I originally started it in the end of July, and it's been awesome. I mean, I can't thank everybody enough. I know I tell everybody that every week, but I really do. All three of us here on the show do appreciate it. We do this for fun, but it's also cool to see people come in here and talking with us and enjoying, the actual stuff that we put out. So the numbers are skyrocket high right now. I looked again today, and it's awesome. Our YouTube channel alone has over 5,000 views, so which is I'm very, very grateful for it. So, like I
Never would have expected that.
no,
You know?
no,
Really.
I never would have. And yesterday was an all-time high of people listening. Thank you, Bird, by the way.
Thank you.
Of people listening. For some reason, yesterday it was some ridiculous one. It's on a bar graph and it was way up there, or a line graph, whatever. But thank you again, guys. And if you don't already, please do follow us. TikTok. What else? Facebook. Murder shows where we're at. But we do appreciate it. We hope everybody has a great Christmas too, as well. Spend it with the loved ones and stuff. Enjoy it, because life's too short, man. You just never know anymore. But this is, as I stated before, this is the last one for 2025. So we are officially ending our season 1 on here, Murder Show. So we will come back next year with a start of season 2, and we will kick things off. We got some good ideas too that we're tossing around for next year as well. So it's going to be a good year, and you as well, Bird. But thank you again, guys. Appreciate it. And other than that, I'm going to have Jackie take us off. She is going to yodel for us tonight. And so, other than that, you guys.
You just made a turkey sound.
Merry Christmas to everybody. Have a great new year, and we will see you next year. So, Jackie, go ahead and do your thing one more time for us.
We'll be back. Same prime time, same prime place.
Good night, everybody.
See you next year.